John out on the Oregon Moto John here with Ed. Got the 890 Adventure R and the 690, and we went up today and we found some snow. Here we are at our turnaround point. We question if this was very smart, but we stopped before it's too bad. But when the front end starts to wash out, and you know, neither one of us need to get hurt today, because like Ed was saying, he has a bathroom to finish. And if he breaks a leg or an arm, he'll just have to figure out how to finish it with that broken arm. Does that sound about right, Ed?
That's pretty much what's going to happen. I'm just going to work one-winged. It's not going to get fixed by itself.
And like most of us, I can't break anything right now, because I got some work I need to do, as like most of us do, right? So anyway, but this was fun. Against Ed's better judgment, he followed me.
Yeah, for some reason, as we were gaining an elevation, it did get a little clearer because there was no trees.
Yes.
And he seemed to convince me it was going to get better, and it didn't.
Yeah. So we faced the hard facts of that this isn't getting better. So I think we're going to head on back. But I can attest that a 690 and 890 do pretty good in snow. So with this, the key here is I'm going to hop on this while I'm rolling a little bit, just barely, because I'm short and I don't feel like finagling around with this. This could go bad. Oh, no, we're okay. Yep. When you get on that, it's kind of been, this isn't fresh snow. I've had good luck with fresh snow. Yeah, don't go off the track yet.
I won't. It's really slick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get going here.
As a kid with dirt bikes and stuff, and even with some of these enduros, I wouldn't hit the brakes on that corner, man. I just let them roll.
I'm gonna just roll around it.
It's kind of like driving a car on something slick. There's times where you just want your wheels to keep rolling. Don't brake. Don't accelerate a bunch. Just if everything keeps rolling, you'll get a little bit of traction. But what I was gonna say is, when I was younger, I'd go out in the snow and here's another slushy section. Just let it roll. Right. Just let it roll. There we go. And if it's fresh snow, you actually can do okay. With some knobbies, man, it's a hoot. But this is not fresh snow. This is froze and melted and refroze and melted. And now it's melting now, so you got a skim of snow / ice on the top.
All right, I'm right behind you.
Yeah, there's that. Just let it roll through.
I'm just going to roll through it.
Okay, I'll get out of your way. Let's just keep going. And so where I get a little worried up here is, like up here, you can see there's a section where there's a skim of slush, and so I'm going to take the track where there's more solid gravel, because if you get on the slush, it gets real hard to get traction with your front tire. The back tire, I don't mind, but if the front tire loses traction, it's a little hard. You know, you might be able to, if you start to slide, dab with left foot or a right foot here and there, but I don't want to do any of that today. I just odds of wrecking go way up when you start doing that. And like Ed said, he needs to work tomorrow, and I need to work tomorrow too. So I don't want to figure out how to do it with a broken leg or arm or collarbone or something.
Yeah, I basically have my day planned as soon as we get home. So I got to work today after I get out of ER.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say your day probably doesn't involve an ER visit.
No, it does not.
So motorcycles are fun, but we're trying to keep it fun with just a little stupid mixed in. But we don't want to mix so much stupid in that we have to go to the ER. That is our, we do have some standards. They're pretty low, but we do have some.
Yeah, the worst part of the ER is generally I end up getting yelled at my wife for doing something stupid that I shouldn't have done. ER I can take.
Or I might end up seeing my wife at the ER.
Exactly.
And then she'd really tell me how stupid I was, and probably tell everybody not to give me any help.
One of my last ER visits was John and I was out surfing, and really nice day, and I had a hoodie on because it was cold here on the Oregon coast, and he said, "Man, is that blood coming out from your hoodie?" I said, "Well, I did get hit in the back of the head." So I pulled my hoodie off, and I had a pretty good-sized gash in the back of my skull. And so he said, man, that looks bad. We better get going. I said, it's a nice day. I'm just hoodieing up. We surfed another an hour and a half and went home, and I went to take a shower. Hadn't told my wife anything. I thought, well, maybe it's not that bad, although John said he could actually see skull.
Oh, yeah, you're like, well, can I keep surfing? And I grab your hair and I pull it to the side, and I'm looking at a white bloody skull. It's like 2 inches long.
But it was cold enough it didn't hurt, so... But man, when I cleaned that in the shower, I almost passed out, so I had to tell her. And then she got mad at me for coming all the way home, and then found out I surfed another hour and a half.
Well, and the worst part about it for me was then a few days later, I saw your mom, and I don't know, she was, 85 or 87 at the time or something, and she's like, looked me dead in the eyes, and she said, you were supposed to take care of my son. And I didn't have anything to say. I think I was actually speechless. I just stared at her in utter disappointment in myself, and I was just speechless.
Yeah, it wasn't good. That took a dozen stitches to get that bad boy up.
Oh.
It was a memorable day surfing. If you can remember, they were just perfect.
Oh,
and
they
it was
were.
sunny, and it was just really such a nice day. Other than that,
yeah. I think that's why we just didn't want to stop.
Nope.
But that skeg, man, on that surfboard, it'll get you.
It'll get you.
I've seen it slice through wetsuits like butter.
Yeah, it went through my wetsuit, of course, and so they can get nasty.
We're getting out of the snow now. Now we can skim over the snow like we're on the sand. Doesn't that sound smart?
It really doesn't, but I'm in.
There's some slush here. Ooh, yeah. Don't gun down through there.
I will not.
I thought I was being cool.
Yeah, I'll just get up.
Yeah, I thought, it's just melted enough to where see, this is where we got our false sense of security here.
Exactly.
We're in this high area, and the snow melted a little bit on the highway down to the gravel. But then we got back in the shaded area over there, and got dicey. I mean, this is just a great view out there. I mean, looks really... It's something. Wow.
With good tires, these really do pretty well. They're heavy enough, but the downside of that is if you had to pick one up in the snow, I don't think I can do it.
Yeah, it would be hard.
I don't think my back has it in me anymore to get it up, and it's starting to slide, and it just
slick. I don't know. It'd be probably with two of us, we could do it, but it wouldn't.
Two of us could do it, but out here by yourself, I could never get one picked up. I just have to abandon it.
Yeah, it's so, especially like you're saying, if it's slick, you can't get footing. It's hard to generate force to lift something.
Yeah, and even in the sand, I find and those bikes are light.
Oh, yeah.
You try to get them, you get them to that certain 45-degree angle to get them up, and then they start sliding in the sand, so you can't ever almost catch up.
That's right. 39 degrees, it's a heat wave.
Yeah.
I do like that this bike's warning me that there's snow. It's amazing how slick it gets if you get off into this slush.
Oh, it is.
I mean, I can just... Oh, yep. Losing my... Yep. Yeah, it is slick. That slush is slick. It's not like snow even.
No, it is not.
This is a nice slush corner. Oh, yeah.
Keep it steady and...
Yeah, keep it steady. Not what I'm doing, but there. Steady, slow and steady wins the race, man. There. Wow, well that was exciting. I didn't know we were going to get into... I didn't plan on snow today.
It's a lot worse riding downhill than going up.
Yes. Oh, man. Downhill is...
dramatically different.
You almost got to... Just can't hardly touch the brakes, and you almost got to keep accelerate a little. It's almost like on coming downhill in sand. Sometimes you got to have a little, just
Yes.
a little throttle on, not a lot, but a little. But then the problem is you can keep picking up speed and go faster
Yes.
than you want to when you're on ice and snow. So that it is a problem. Then usually up here, especially, it seems like if you're going downhill, you're coming to a corner.
Exactly. Motorcycles, cars, almost everything. They like to brake, they like to corner, but they like to accelerate. But this kind of stuff, you can only do one. You can't.
Oh yeah.
Do a lot of accelerating or braking and cornering. It doesn't like to do.
That's pretty. Yeah, tires, they got X amount of traction, say 100%. But if you're accelerating, braking, leaning, each one of those forces take up X amount of traction. So if you're leaning, that takes up a certain amount. Now if you hit the brakes, you've used up more, and so it's just like gotta use your traction for what you need it for. So like they always say, brake before you get to a turn, and then do the turn. And I never really thought of it that way, but you start off with 100x traction, but whether you're braking, accelerating, leaning, or turning, it keeps tapping into that. So like if it's slick, you kind of need 100% of your traction to turn, and you don't need it to brake. And yeah, this is definitely has a slick look to it, and I'm not testing it.
Nope.
Just gonna keep it rolling. Finding that nice neutral point on the seat and the bars. You can even stand, but isn't really necessary always. But just finding that nice little neutral point. And then if the front end starts to slide, stay neutral throttle to slight throttle is helpful, but you definitely don't want to hit the brakes at that point, or you're going to wash out and go down.
Yep, you're done.
There's a few times my front end started to slide. I was going pretty slow, and I would just gave it a little bit of gas, just a little bit, or kept it neutral. But if we hit the brakes and let off the accelerator, the front nose is going to dive, and then you're just going to end up on your side, splat. Well, that was fun. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And I appreciate you being dumb enough to follow me.
That's me.
That was about like our first time riding on the dunes. Yeah, think we can do it? Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in.
I still remember calling you and telling you my plan, and you're like, well, I don't think it's a good idea, but if you do it, I'm in.
Yeah, I was sitting on a beach in Hawaii when he told me he's going to order a bike, and he wanted me to get one with him, and I got on my phone and called the guy up and said, I'll pick one up when I get back. And it is fun.
We may yet try the 690 out on the sand. We'll see.
Yep.
All right, we're back on pavement.
Yep, I like it.
On ice and snow or gravel, is especially something like sand or snow, is I try to find that neutral, I call it neutral bike position, where I'm on the bike, but I'm not, not leaning, I'm not doing anything to cause any real changes with the bike itself. So position through the peg, handlebars, everything's just kind of a balancing kind of neutral point, and that way when you hit something slick, it generally, even if it's fairly slick, you can ride right through it if you don't have to make any changes and accelerate, brake, or turn. But that's the problem, is if you have to brake. Remember a couple years ago, I actually was coming on this corner right here, and it was ice and snow, and actually it was this next sharper one, and I needed to take off a little speed, so I was braking right here, and then I did get off my brakes soon enough. I started to lean, tip in, and oh man, it was on the 690, and I felt the ABS kicking in on the front wheel, and there was a car coming right here.
Oh, great.
Oh man, I think that day that ABS saved me from going down, because I've never felt the front brake do that, and it was just pumping away. I was like, oh my word, it's just prevented me from washing out my front end and potentially slide into that car. That was the first time where I really thought, you know what, this ABS can save your bacon.
It can.
But that was weird circumstances, riding a motorcycle on snow and ice.
That's the only time ABS is used, in weird circumstances.
Yeah.
It's never used in anything else.
I really think it saved my bacon. I rode home. I didn't have an accident, but I'll tell you what, I thought I was given the right front amount of pressure, and I was coming in that corner a little faster than I wanted to. I was trying to burn off some speed, and man, I felt that kicking on with my front brake. That was...
Yeah.
And I know it was my front brake because I had it in off-road ABS mode, so I could lock up the back brake and not have it kick in.
Uh-huh.
So I know, I don't have any doubt it was, that. And I think we both ride in off-road ABS mode with these most of the time. I think I leave mine in that pretty much all the time, which maybe that isn't a good idea, but the problem I have is if I don't leave it in off-road mode, I ride in off-road so much that I forget to put it in off-road mode when I'm off-road, and then I come into a corner and I can't get enough braking out of my rear tire.
But in the off-road ABS, doesn't the front wheel still work?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the front wheel is never deactivated.
Yeah.
Somebody coming off a side road here, but I think my guess is they'll see you. They have some snow on their windshield.
Yeah.
But yeah, that neutral position is really good, whether you're when you get on something fairly slick. Mud, sometimes that can be helpful. These bikes are to ride on the highway. I don't mind gobbling up highway miles on these at all. I mean, I know the 690 is real nice to ride on the highway too.